There we go. I think this is better. Thanks for the heads up. I didn't say anything important. I was just saying I was tweeting about it. Let me. There we go. I think this is better. Thanks for the heads up. I didn't say anything important. I was just saying I was. All right, I think this should be good now. Hold on. Okay, so first, this is a really cool thing. Yeah, it's Independence Day. I think this is something that this initiative that Dan Adelman, along with a bunch of other indie developers, have started. Basically, on July 4th, Independence Day here in the U.S., they are no games are going on sale. It's a sale with 0% off. Basically just because there's like so many sales now that it's making it really hard for independent developers to make a living. So they've, it's not saying never to go on sale. I think it's just to sort of bring some awareness to the issue. So there's a bunch of games here. So yeah, this Independence Day. Support an indie. My game is not on sale. It is not available. The other thing I want to bring to your attention is I do have a devlog. It's here on TIG forums. Been keeping it for about a year and a half now, or over a year and a half, since November 2012. But I've also put up all the archives of the streams up on YouTube. Ooh, that was really loud. And also there's a playlist that I'm just going to upload everything on to. I break everything down into like 3 parts. This is the playlist. I guess I'll just link to this. Is that the link? Yeah, I guess it's the link. But yeah, anyway, today we're going to work on this level. You can see it. This is what it used to look like. Sort of different variations of it, kind of adding more stuff, adding more complexity. This is what it looks like now. We'll jump into it a little bit later. And I think there's like still some more stuff that can be done, and I'll talk about why I made certain changes and what I like and what I still don't like. But first, let's jump into Unity, and I will show you guys something that we worked on today. Liz Zypher, we're using Unity. This is Unity. I'm in Unity 5. I think it's 5.0.2 right now. I heard a lot of problems with 5.1, so I haven't upgraded yet. Let me see here. Okay. Gravity, direction, gizmo. So, for a long time, I basically had no idea which gravity direction each wall was facing. Now this one's not so much of a problem because this one has like a very obvious up orientation. So I know right now blue is, this surface that we see right here, that's going to be blue. The problem is then, and I know the opposite is going to be red because I know blue and red are opposite, but then it's like, well, which one's green, which one's purple, which one's yellow, which one's orange, and I really have no idea. And a lot of times, like, you know what? This one doesn't really matter since they're all symmetrical on all four sides. But a lot of times, I would just have to actually hit play, go into the game, and walk around, and to see which surface was which. Now, it did help when I had, you know, so let's say I had a cube in here. Okay, right, I've got a green cube. Now this was helpful because then I could see, I'd be like, oh, I see, yeah, this arrow on the green cube is pointing in that direction, so that surface is green, therefore that's yellow, the opposite. But then it would still leave me confused as to which one is purple and orange. Okay, so this surface is purple, and then the one on the other side is orange. But then if I can't see the cubes, then I would get really confused. Now, this is like a pretty important aspect of gameplay, and you'd think I would have done something about it a long time ago, but it just never occurred to me that this was like a problem I could address. And then, as you know, recently, having brought on David Lasky and Chris Wade on board as programmers helping out, David's written a bunch of really awesome editor tools, and so I was like, oh, maybe there's a solution to this problem. And so this morning I had Chris started working on this separate gravity direction gizmo, and I'll show you what he made. Let's see, advanced uncomment selection. So this should work. Okay. You see, so yeah, so Chris wrote this gizmo that basically floats on top and tells me which gravity direction every surface is. So it's kind of nice because then I flip over and then I'm like, oh, I see, yeah, this is blue, that's red, this is purple, that's orange. The problem with this was sometimes when it zoomed out, it had, like, it does this this clipping, and we just couldn't fix it. And I think it works well enough, but it sort of takes up some space. I might still keep it anyway. What I realized though, maybe I'll have Chris move it down here. Actually, maybe, you know what? I think I can do this. Where is the position for this guy? I think. Have I played A Slower Speed of Light? Yes, I have. I've also heard of Back to Bed. Actually, Back to Bed is different. I think that I didn't play a lot of it, but I think it's more like Monument Valley. Offset amount. Okay. Let me just see if this is. Oh no, that changes the how much those things. Let me just see, I kind of want to move it down here. I think it's this. Yeah, hold on. Yep, this is it. Actually, it's kind of useful, so hold on. I am going to change this, and yeah. Well, Eddie Realfer, I'm actually going to, I am going to change the name of the game. It is actually not going to be called Relativity. There's a new name, but I am going to wait until, I think sometime closer to mid-August to announce it. And the name's going to be much more appropriate. Problem with Relativity, two things. One is that it's actually, yeah, I mean, it's about things being relative, but I think everyone just associates relativity with the theory of relativity and time dilation and all that. And it's also very hard to search for stuff. Like, if you're on Twitter, you use the hashtag relativity. You know, there's so much stuff going on there. Okay, I like the position of this one better now. Yeah, you know what? I'm going to keep it because it is still pretty handy. The only problem is that it does this clipping thing, so once you zoom out far enough, you can't see. However, what's really nice, basically what I realized was that I could change the, you can also change the color of the axis, for the axis icon for this thing, and you can simply go into Preferences, Colors, and that lets you change them. So I've just changed them to match up with, you know, the colors. And what the bonus part, so it is inverted a bit. Instead of the other ones, so it's pointing at like which way blue is up. Yeah, the thinking there would be, it's because the other one, then I'm using red, yellow, orange, which are a little harder to differentiate. But what's nice is then when you go to click on an object, you can kind of see, like, you know, it lets you see which, you get a sense of which, actually, you know, now that I think about it, it probably would make more sense to change the colors. Hey, Gaming Monkey 11. I'm trying to see, let me see, because the problem right now is this makes me think blue is that direction. You know what, let's change it. Actually. So, colors, red, and then this green one would be yellow, and this purple one would be orange. Alright, I think that's... Nah, you know what? I don't like the yellow because when Unity does selected, it makes it, oh, but I can change that. So maybe I can make it green. Actually, you know what? I've decided that we'll go with this other one. Just even though it's a bit confusing, I think the colors... The benefit of having the colors be easier to tell apart is a little nicer, and then I think with this here, then it's basically fine. But anyway, this gravity, we're using C# for this, but there's also a lot of shader stuff, and that's with like whatever shader language Unity's using. You know what? I'm gonna turn on the fan. All right. Are the aesthetics and graphics inspired by Antechamber? A bit of it, yes. It is sort of, well, let's jump into this level and take a look. Because the problem is it's really hard to, oh, this is really loud. It's really hard not to draw comparisons to Antechamber because it's such a, when you're doing like a super minimalist aesthetic, I mean, a lot of it is it arose from just a core gameplay. It's like there's only 6 gravities to walk on and there's no curves, but I'm sort of hoping for basically kind of Antechamber Advanced Edition. Ooh, okay, so there's some bugs right now. Well, this level isn't totally finished yet. Right, so I guess the big difference with Antechamber is that there's a lot more focus on lighting. Let me see if the shadows are being drawn. Oh, you know what? This needs to not cast shadows. Ah, okay, here we go. Alright, I do think this green is way too green. So we're gonna do oops. You know what, I'm gonna change my scene view a bit so I can actually see stuff. The problem with this is that you know what, I think project doesn't need to be here. But maybe inspector, it takes up so much room. Alright, I think this is not bad. Let me just save this for stream layout. Okay. Let's go into game manager. I have this thing called relativity. Where's my relativity utils? And why is it so bright? The green is too green. Are the fractal features generated on the fly? As you know, they are not generated on the fly. They're generated right before runtime. Okay, like this. Why is this no longer? This is weird. That should be a prefab. Weird. Okay, yeah, you see this? Yeah, here we go. That's a lot better. Anyway, for music, I think I'm going to listen to this one from Sean Hogan. He's a friend of mine. He's based here. He's another game developer based here in Chicago. He made Anodyne. He's currently Anodyne with John Kitaka, Joni Kitaka. I'm forgetting his last name right now, or rather just having a hard time pronouncing it. But they made Anodyne. Joni's really cool. And they're currently working on Even the Ocean. This is his first solo album. Yeah, Sean did the music for Anodyne and is doing the music for Even the Ocean as well. Let's start from the beginning. Cool, let's go back into this level. And no clip. Alright, so right now the problem, so this is this level. So I think overall it looks pretty cool, however, having it simply just repeat itself in every direction makes it not super interesting to me. There is a lot of geometry, yeah, but I think it's a little too busy. Like, I think it'd be much more mysterious if, because you see this and it looks cool at first, but then you realize it just repeats itself, so there's not a whole lot of room for new sites. As in, like, all the sites you can kind of see within a certain area already. So what I would like to do is have, you know, like a 3x3, like I want, so what I'm going to do is tonight I'm going to write a script, I'm going to generate a whole bunch of these. And then we're going to take that larger unit and make that into, actually let's just pull up Photoshop so I can explain it better. Right, so let's imagine this is, wow, Photoshop, why are you, the latest version of Photoshop is so slow. It's a bit annoying too, because I recently switched to Adobe's cloud. Yeah, like that, the cloud subscription, but that took forever just to like draw a shape. I don't know what was up with that. Alright, let's say this is one unit. What I would like to do is have it be I don't like the way. Hold on. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Yeah, merge sound, that's fine. Okay. Like, basically what I want is, let's say this is at, like, that one instance. Let's say this is the one instance. What I want is, like, basically create something like this. Okay, this is not actually that easy to do with Photoshop. Yeah, something like this structure. So you have the opening here. And anyway, you'd have this like opening in the middle. Maybe a little bit bigger. Maybe we can just do 2x2. Yeah, I guess if we do 2x2, then the sides would line up. So then you'd have like a row of 4. Yeah, so that probably would make the most sense to do, yeah, to duplicate it around a ring. Okay, so no, I believe this is like, I think this is the how big it is. Great. Okay. It does look like... So, I think it needs to be a little bit... Alright, so basically I'm just drawing this white cube so I can get a measurement for how wide the structure is. So that's 154. Okay, so it's 154 on the X and Y axis. Okay. Yep, 154. And then, alright, so now let's write our script that's going to generate. So this is, let's see here. We'll call this, no, we will call this pagoda pillar placement. So where's our pagoda placement? Okay. I'm just copying a bunch of things from this. Okay, so we've got our okay, let's go like transform. Okay, so what I need is, first I need to create, yeah, we're not gonna do 3. We'll do 2, let's see, how many do we want? Probably, I think that's too many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, we'll do 8 on each side. +90 degrees with no AC. User, that sounds absolutely awful. I think right now in Chicago it's like 50. That one from Sean's pretty good. Yeah, this is what we're going to do. I'm trying to think of how I'd want to generate this. I think it might be easier just to make like a, you know what? I'm gonna cheat and do I'm gonna cheat and hand place that first force set, just to make the math a little bit easier. Yeah. Right, like that. And then we'll call this like large unit large. So okay, so then the math would be, that's one. Basically go around, don't worry about the y-axis, and it's 154. Right. Okay, hold on. Float duplicate distance. X equals. Yeah, x equals to 154. Float. What? 95 to 100 in Germany? Wow, that's insane. That's like really hot. What is it in Chicago right now? I think it's closer to 60. Yeah, oh man, I was spot on. Yeah, exactly 60. 16. Sorry, I'm not gloating. I feel for you all. Let's. Oh right, I want the. I feel like I've been writing this kind of script a lot. I should look into. Talk to David to see if he can write something to that like abstracts this out and makes it a little easier to do this. Okay, so let's see, we wanna... This one's gonna be a little bit different. Yeah, I'm just trying to think of the placement. So we'd actually want it half. So like this guy's position is 0. Like if this is 154 across, then we'd actually want to place it in the middle. So let's do number, okay, let's do I equals to number x, and I less than duplicate number x, I plus plus, so we ignore right, so we're going to ignore oh shit. The problem is then this always does is that this always skips. You can only do odd numbers if you do this. So let's okay, you know what, let's do it this way. 0, I equals to 0, I less than equal to duplicate number x, I plus plus, and then for k number z, no, we're just gonna do 0, k less than the number z, k plus plus, and we are just basically going to ignore everything that is okay, let's see if this works. Ganesh, isn't there some rule in Germany where all the all office buildings have to have like windows that you can open? I remember reading that somewhere. Because I feel like here in the US you have so many offices that just don't have windows. So, well, yeah, if most offices don't have AC, then they would pretty much need to have windows. Okay. Let's see, generate tile, generate pagoda. Oh right, but I want to ignore if I yeah, I basically want to ignore 1 and 2. This is not the way to do it. If I 1 and I does not equal to 2. Yeah, this is kind of the stupid way to do it, but I mean, I hope no one is actually watching this to learn how to code. Because I write some pretty inefficient code here. Right, like the reason why I'm doing this is to skip over the two pieces in the middle, but there's a much better way to do this. Alright, let me see if this works now. Let's see here. Right. So I think this has to be 4 and 4. So let me disable this. We're gonna hit run. Oh right, I should, you know what, let me disable this guy. Let me disable this box as well. Alright, this is where the game Unity might crash, so let's save this. Save project. Turn this one on is always a little scary. Oh, what the fuck? Can I make the world connect in such a way that it isn't simply a three-torus? Yes, but do you have other ideas for geometry that... I mean, it would be cool to have other four-dimensional shapes that you're on the surface of, but it's hard to do that, because, like... Okay, so... The 3D version of the okay, so right, this is... So, I don't know if everyone knows what a three-torus is. Let me just pull that up while this is loading. So... I don't know if any of these are actual good images, but basically a three-torus is the geometry of this world. Like if you think about it, torus. That's not a two-torus. Just say donut. Yeah, okay. let's just use this example. This is a good picture. Let's use this example. So basically, if you are a 2D character on the surface of this donut. Oh, it's called the patriotic donut. Oh, well, that's kind of cool. Just in time for Independence Day, I guess. Okay, so say you are a 2D character on the surface of this donut. Let's say this is you. Well, you can wrap around. Let's pick a better color. Let's pick blue. So you would wrap around the world like this way, because if you went around this, it's like that. And then you can also go around. No, orange is not a good color because of the... You know, let's go with purple. And then you can also wrap around this way. See, this is kind of a bad picture. There's too many colors. But anyway, so this would be, right, so you would basically screen wrap in 2D. So any game in which you could screen wrap vertically and horizontally, you are a 2D character on the surface of a 2D torus or a three-dimensional donut. So basically, in the world of relativity, you are in a three-torus. You are a character. You are a three-dimensional character on the surface of a four-dimensional donut. Let me. Just save this as two-torus explanation. But I don't know if... Yeah, so I don't know if there's other geometry. Like, I guess if I think about what it's like to be on a sphere and to do something... I mean, a sphere would actually be quite interesting. Because if you think of a... Right, it just means that these parallel lines converge. I don't know if I could draw it. Well, a two-torus is just, just that, right? That's just a two-torus. I mean, it's like how would a four-dimensional sphere, what would it look like? Okay, so we can look at the lines and they all, basically you'd like have some line where they all go together, where if you kept going straight, oh wait, so it's like, that's interesting. Actually, I think I might be able to do a 4D space. I think it's too much though, because that would mean that maybe I should talk to Mark Tenbosch about it. He's the guy making Miekakure. Because I think a 4D version, right, basically if you're a two, let's save this again. Yeah. Where's that sphere? Right, okay, so if you're like, if you think about it and you're a 2D character on this, then basically it would screen wrap in one direction, right? So so if you go in one direction, it would screen wrap. So does this mean for 4D would you, and then, right, oops, I meant like this. So this direction screen wraps. This direction, let's use yellow. This direction also screen wraps because you would come back around this way. But it means from any point on this, like you would always go... Oh, but it's like from here, you would always go to the same 2 points. So like they all converge. But does that, but it's like, but I would have one more axis, right? So it's like, is that additional axis, does it behave like the red or the yellow? I will ask Mark Tenbosch, because he thinks about this a lot. Actually, a good friend of mine, he's a mathematician at Princeton. I'll ask him. He was my roommate in college. Got his PhD from MIT, so... And he specializes in 4D. So, in fact, it might be kind of cool to have him on board. on the stream. Fundamental. All right, see ya, Eddie. Right, it's like, do I do this one or anyway? We'll see. This might be a bit too complex. Well, Jet user asks, what are we talking about now? I went to eat. So I was explaining to everyone how the geometry in the world of relativity works. Basically, it's a three-torus. So it's like, it's what this is. So if you think of a 3D donut, you're a 2D character on the surface of it. You can loop around this way, the inner loop of the donut, and then this outer loop, right? So basically, any 2D game with screen wrapping in the Y and X axis, you are a 2D character on the surface of a 3D donut. In relativity, you are a 3D character, so it's like this with an extra axis, so you're a 3D character on the surface of a 4D donut. And Eddie was asking, well, what if I had other geometries beside a three-torus you could walk into? I was looking at a sphere, and I was saying, well, so a 2D character you would have, like in one direction, you would just be screen wrapping, kind of just like normally. But then in the other direction, it's like you would always go in the same geometry. You'd always end up in the same point. And then it's like, but when I add that third axis, does it behave like this red axis or the yellow axis? Anyway, I'm going to take a quick break now. I think it's been almost an hour. So I'm just going to take a quick break so I can pause this. No, well, now I have the donut. I don't have the sphere. I have a 4D donut. I don't have a 4D sphere. All right, I'm going to pause the stream, put on the break screen. It'll just be for a few minutes so I can break up the